This is Kate Bishop, broadcasting on 105.9 FM, if anyone can still hear me. It's just past 3:12 in the morning. The temperature outside reads 72, but it feels colder than that in here. Not because the heat's off, though it is, but because something about the air has changed. It's heavy. Still. Dead, almost. To get these broadcasts in your inbox, subscribe for free using the first link in the description or pinned comment. The wind turbine's running just enough to keep the transmitter alive. The batteries I rigged from an old solar array are kicking in now and then, but the signal's not strong. If you're more than 10, maybe 15 miles out from downtown Carson, I doubt you're getting me clear. Maybe you just hear static. Maybe you don't hear anything at all. But I'm here. This is the Carson Public Radio booth, what's left of it. Most of the gear is either fried or fading. The light overhead buzzes when it feels like it. The backup generator hums like a dying bee. But I still have this mic. I still have a voice. And I think that counts for something. If you're out there, if you're listening, then that means you're still alive, and that makes two of us. I don't really know how to start this. There wasn't a playbook. There wasn't a plan. There was just this light, and then the silence. I've been on the air for 15 years. This booth has seen everything from tornado warnings to midnight jazz sets to middle school science fairs. But I've never felt this kind of dread before. It started 2 nights ago, around 11:48 p.m. I was finishing up a late night segment, a rerun, jazz classics mostly. The soundboard blinked out for a moment, thought it was just a breaker. Then I noticed my phone wouldn't turn on. Not even the emergency backup I kept taped under the desk. The laptops were dead, the monitors black. The lights outside the booth, all of them, flickered and stayed off. At first, I thought it was just a localized outage. Then I looked outside. Everything was glowing, not like a fire, not like neon or LED. The sky was just wrong, like someone turned up the contrast on the stars until they bled into each other. And then, just when my brain started to understand that something wasn't right, it hit. A white flash, no noise, no heat, just light. Like the universe blinked. And then the screams started. Phones stopped ringing, cars locked up mid-intersection. Some just sat there, engine dead, headlights frozen in place like open eyes that forgot how to blink. And the people inside? Some were fine. Others, I don't know how to say this. They didn't bleed. They didn't burn. They just broke. Like puppets whose strings got yanked too hard. One guy right outside the studio glass was trying to call someone. I saw his mouth moving. Then his eyes just rolled back, and he dropped. No warning. No twitch. Just dead. And then came the silence. It wasn't like before. It was deeper, thicker. No dogs barking, no sirens, no hum of street lamps. Just stillness. Even the bugs shut up. I didn't know what had happened, still don't. But a few hours after, I managed to get the shortwave receiver working. It's old, analog, built in the 70s. Survived the EMP, if that's what it was, and I picked up something. Weak signals, scattered frequencies, a few words, maybe. Radiation spike, atmospheric breach, gamma. Gamma. I didn't know much about gamma rays before this. Still don't know nearly enough. But I remembered my friend Marcus. He used to be a physicist, worked at Lawrence Livermore, then retired out here in Carson when his wife passed. Smart guy. Paranoid as hell. kept a Faraday cage in his basement, thought the government was monitoring his emails. Turns out he might have had a point. I walked to his house the morning after the flash. 12 blocks. The streets were mostly empty. Some cars still sat idling until they choked out. Others were crashed into lampposts. I passed by the corner store, windows smashed, nothing taken. The shelves were still stocked. I guess panic hadn't caught up yet. When I got to Marcus's place, the front door was hanging open. He was in the basement, huddled under his workbench with an old Geiger counter and a reel-to-reel recorder. Said he saw the flash too. Said it was the burst, gamma radiation from a dying star. Said they warned about this for decades, but nobody thought it would happen in our lifetime, and especially not aimed straight at Earth. He said it doesn't burn you, not at first. Doesn't give you time to run. Just fries your DNA. Just enough to start unraveling everything inside. And it wasn't over. He said the burst wasn't just light. It was a signal. Something embedded in it. Patterns. Code. Said if someone, or something, wanted to sterilize a planet without touching the ground, that's how you'd start. I asked him what he meant. He said it wasn't natural. I've been thinking about that ever since. It's been 2 days now. The power grid is mostly down. Emergency broadcasts went silent sometime yesterday afternoon. No FEMA, no state troopers, no National Guard. We are alone. I tried dialing every station frequency I could think of. I tried the no AA bands, the old HAM lines. I picked up one voice on 760 AM out of Phoenix. A woman named Teresa. Said she was at a fire station with a few dozen survivors. She was begging for someone to tell her what was happening. The line cut before I could respond. Static. That's all there is now. So I'm staying on the air as long as I can. I've got 2 days worth of canned food, some backup water filters, and this microphone. I'll keep broadcasting every hour, on the hour. If you hear this, write it down, repeat it. Keep the words moving. If you're in the Carson area and you're still alive, tune your receiver to 105.9 FM. If you've got a CB or ham rig, switch to channel 12. I'll be scanning every half hour. Leave a message. Tell me where you are. Tell me who's left. We're not going to survive this if we don't talk to each other. And if this really is the end, if that flash was the first knock, then let's not go out silent. This is Cade Bishop, still breathing in the dark, still talking through the static. You're not alone. Not yet. It's just after 5:17 a.m. now. I haven't slept. The sun should be up by now, but it's not. There's this haze, this thin gray film that's been sitting in the air since the flash, like someone smeared ash across the sky and forgot to clean it up. No birds yet, no wind, just the quiet hum of wires that no longer carry power, and the occasional creak of buildings settling in on themselves. I boiled some rainwater earlier. The rooftop barrels I set up last year caught enough to keep me going for a bit. It tasted like rust and dust, but at least it didn't kill me. Yet. If you're out there, I want to start giving out tips. Things that are helping me stay alive. At least for now. I don't know how long the food will last, but if you're lucky enough to be near a garden store, grab seeds. Anything that'll grow fast, radishes, beans, squash. If you have old hand tools, clean them, oil them. Modern gear's mostly fried. Motors don't hum anymore. Anything with a chip is gone. So go analog. Wind up flashlights, manual pumps, buckets and rope. If it doesn't have a brain, it's useful again. If you're near Carson, there's a warehouse on 9th and Bridge. Used to be a military surplus outlet. Most of the gear inside was old school. Canvas packs, EAS hand-cranked radios. I checked it yesterday, half picked through, but a lot left. Just be careful. Saw movement in the back. Could have been a raccoon. Could have been something else. I've been hearing stories. I got a call an hour ago, barely a whisper through the static, from someone named Joel in northern Nevada. He said he was with his wife and 2 kids in a storm cellar outside of Ely. He said they saw the sky ripple. That was the word he used. Ripple. Like heat rising off pavement, but stretched across the stars. He said they'd been trying to reach family in Salt Lake, but the lines are down. No cell towers, no internet. They've been listening for voices, for anything. I asked him if he'd seen anyone else. He paused, said there was a man 2 nights ago, wandering the outskirts of their farm. No flashlight, no bag, just walking barefoot down the gravel road with his arms limp at his sides. Joel called out. The man didn't turn, didn't even flinch, just kept walking until he disappeared into the fog. I didn't know what to say. Neither did he. Then the signal dropped. So here we are, somewhere between remembering how things used to be and trying not to think about what's coming next. Marcus, my physicist friend, he came back last night, knocked on the booth's rear door, scared the hell out of me. He was soaked, said he'd been out scanning with a handheld spectrometer, something about residual ionization. His words, not mine. He said the particles in the atmosphere were changing. He said he doesn't think this was just a single burst. He thinks there's more coming. He showed me his notes, scratchy lines and radio plots I couldn't make sense of, but the look in his eyes was enough. He's not scared of much. But last night, he looked like a man trying not to scream. He said the patterns are pulsing, like a heartbeat, like something alive. He stayed for a few hours, drank half a thermos of rainwater, muttered equations to himself, then said he had to go back. He's trying to reach someone, a former colleague in Pasadena, someone who used to work on deep space monitoring arrays. If she's still alive, maybe she knows what's coming. He didn't say goodbye, just nodded and slipped into the dark. That's how people are moving now, like ghosts. I keep thinking about that flash, how quiet it was, how it wasn't fire or thunder or any of the things we were told to expect at the end. Just light, cold, merciless light. And what came after? The electronics were the first to go. Anything with a circuit board, fried. Cars, phones, elevators. Then the grids buckled. Transformers popped like fireworks. Hospitals lost power. Some had backup, most didn't. Then the people started vanishing. Some collapsed instantly. Others just wandered, like Joel's stranger. I think about my sister sometimes. She lived in Chicago. We haven't spoken in months, not since Mom's funeral. I wonder if she saw it too. If she was up late, maybe reading on the porch. Maybe she thought it was just lightning. Maybe she never even had time to stand up. I don't know why that hurts more than anything else. Not knowing. If you're listening, if you still have family out there, don't wait. Don't assume someone else will reach out. Write letters, leave chalk signs, talk into the silence, because silence is what's killing us. I got another message this morning, scrawled on the glass of the old bus stop across from the courthouse. Someone used soot and water to write it. Carson River Bridge. Sunset. Bring water. No weapons. That's all it said. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if it's a trap. But if you're nearby, and you're brave, maybe it's a chance. A lot of people still don't trust each other. And that's fair. The looting started yesterday. Some of the bigger stores got hit. People were grabbing diapers, water, anything they could carry. But I also saw something else. I saw a kid, maybe 11, give up his only flashlight to help a woman find her husband in the parking lot. Just handed it over without thinking. Didn't even wait for a thank you. That stuck with me. Even now, when everything's burning down, there's still some light. I've started marking the hours by hand, tallying on the side wall. Day 2 since the sky broke. Still standing. Still talking. If you're alive, send something back. A word. A whisper. Anything. We're still a people if we keep speaking. This is Cade Bishop on 105.9 FM, broadcasting on backup solar from Carson, Nevada. I'll be back in an hour. Stay sharp, stay human, stay awake. It's just after 7:04 a.m. now. I watched the sky try to lighten, but it couldn't. There's this sickly bronze tint bleeding through the clouds, like someone poured motor oil over the sun and left it to rot. It's morning, but it feels like dusk. Cold dusk. That strange kind of cold that doesn't bite your skin. It just sinks in, low and steady, like a weight pressing on your bones. I tried stepping outside a little while ago, just to get some air, but the smell hit me the second I opened the door. It's not rot exactly. Not yet, but it's metallic, like rust and ozone, like the inside of an old TV after it's been on too long. Something about the atmosphere isn't right. The ground feels brittle underfoot, dusty but damp. I stepped in a puddle that didn't ripple. It just clung, like oil. Maybe it's in my head. I don't know. About 20 minutes ago, someone came by the front entrance. Didn't knock, didn't say anything. Just stood there, just a shadow on the other side of the frosted glass. I couldn't make out the face, couldn't tell if they were even breathing. They stood there for about a minute, then walked off. I didn't follow. I don't have much to defend myself with. Just a crowbar I pulled out of the shed, and a flare gun with one shot left. That's all that survived the blast, and I don't think either would do much against someone who doesn't blink. If you're listening, and I hope to God someone is, I want to talk about what's happening on a larger scale. Not just here in Carson, not just Nevada, but beyond. I've been logging frequencies. Every hour I scan the dial. Analog, shortwave, emergency bands. I keep a notebook with the timestamps. So far, I've caught fragments from the following. A repeat loop out of Denver. FEMA alert tone, then silence. An SOS transmission from someone named Eliza in Cheyenne. She mentioned sky tremors. Her voice cut out mid-sentence. A man sounded older, broadcasting from a church basement in Tulsa. He kept repeating the phrase, "The pulse is not done." Then just static. They're not consistent. Sometimes they bleed through the noise like ghosts. Sometimes they vanish mid-word. But they're real, which means there are still voices out there. Marcus said the gamma burst didn't just hit once. He said it's part of a stream, a pulse moving through space, like waves on a shoreline, each one crashing harder than the last. He said the first wave fried the satellites. That's why everything above ground went first. Then the power grids, the planes, the phones, anything with silicon inside. And that maybe something else rode in with it. He didn't say what that meant, just looked at me with that same tired stare. I keep thinking about the guy I saw walking downtown yesterday. He wasn't bleeding. He wasn't limping. He was clean in a weird way, like untouched. But his eyes, they weren't right. They were wide. Too wide. Not blinking. He walked straight down the center of 3rd Street without turning once, even when a streetlight collapsed a few feet away. Just kept moving. Not fast. Not slow. Just like he was following something no one else could see. I didn't call out. I didn't move. I just watched. And he disappeared around the bend by the high school. I haven't seen him since. Anyway, that's why I stay behind this booth most of the day. Safer in here, even if it's lonely. Even if the silence is worse than the dark. Earlier, I got a voice message from someone in Bellingham, Washington. Didn't catch a name. The signal was rough. But they said the shoreline looks wrong. They said the tides are off. That the ocean pulls back in strange ways. Too far, too fast. And that the birds are gone. Completely. They said the air tastes like copper, and the trees are turning black from the inside. If you're in that area, get inland. Just in case. Don't wait. Back here, I've got enough battery power to make it through the day if the sun doesn't vanish entirely behind the muck. I've been drying strips of old meat jerky near the back vents. Not the healthiest, but it's food. Water's the bigger concern. I've been boiling it, but I'm starting to see film on the surface. Could be chemicals from the rooftops, or something worse. If you're near any kind of natural spring or well, protect it, bury it, hide it. People will get desperate soon. I've already heard shouting from the north side of Carson. People fighting over a sack of flour outside an abandoned diner. This isn't how it ends. It's how it unravels. A little at a time. Quiet. Rotten. Alone. I'm trying not to slip into despair. I really am. But I'm tired. I've been awake for almost 2 days. Sleep won't come. Every time I close my eyes, I see that flash again, like it's burned into the back of my skull. I hear the way the world held its breath after. The second everything we trusted fell apart. No warning, no sirens, just light. And then the dark. And now, we talk through that dark. I'm going to take a short break, just to heat some water and try to rest my voice. If you're still there, I'll be back in 30. Keep the dial on 105.9 FM. If I go silent, it means the grid finally gave out. But I've got the crank charger. I'll come back. One way or another. Don't give up on the voice. Not yet. This is Cade Bishop, from the last radio tower still humming in the Nevada quiet. Still here. Still trying. Still hoping. It's 8:41 a.m. now. I can't feel my fingers. Not because of the cold. It's not even that cold. But because I haven't stopped gripping this mic since the last broadcast ended. I guess I'm scared if I let go. Everything else will let go too. That the tower will fall. The batteries will drain. The silence will crawl in and smother whatever's left of me. I found an old analog watch in the drawer behind the mixer panel. It's still ticking. Still marking time like it matters. I've started writing in it with a pencil. Little notes, names, places. The word pulse comes up more than I want it to. I keep thinking about Marcus. He said the gamma burst carried something more than just radiation. He thinks the signal was encoded, structured, that it wasn't just a wave, it was a message. But a message from where? And to who? He's not back yet. He said he was going to make contact with someone in the hills. An old observatory outside of Tonopah. Said the equipment up there was buried deep enough to maybe survive the initial surge. I begged him not to go alone. He didn't listen. Said it was his responsibility. That was 12 hours ago. No word. I hope he made it. God, I hope someone's still studying this, still mapping it. Even if we're falling apart, someone's got to be out there trying to understand it, right? I think that's what scares me more than anything. That maybe no one is. That the last scientists fell silent days ago, and all we've got left now is rumors and guesswork from old men like Marcus and stubborn voices like mine. Earlier today, I picked up a brief signal out of Tucson. A young voice, maybe 20. A guy named Rami. He said the air was glowing at night. Not in a natural way. He said it looked like the sky had veins, pale green, pulsing, stretching across the horizon. He said his sister had stopped speaking after the flash. Not catatonic, just quiet. Like something inside her gave up. She sits on the porch and watches the sky all day without blinking. Won't eat, won't sleep. Rami's scared she saw something in the light that the rest of us missed. Then, the line went dead. The more I listen to these voices, when they come, the more I think this is bigger than we thought. Not just a mass failure. Not just physics. Something changed in us. Not all at once. Not everywhere. But slowly. Quietly. I think some people are fading. Like their minds are unraveling, thread by thread. There's a guy I used to know here in Carson, Danny Mays. Used to run the community center. Solid guy. Loved old movies. Used to host trivia nights. I saw him last night wandering the alley behind the station. No shoes. No coat. Just walking in circles, muttering the same word. Over and over. Clocks. That's all he said. Just clocks, clocks, clocks. I tried to call out to him. He didn't stop, just kept walking, like Joel's stranger in Nevada, like something inside was gone or turned inward. I keep thinking maybe it's the radiation, or maybe it's something deeper. What if that flash didn't just break our machines? What if it's breaking us? There's a crack in the sky out west. I can see it from the roof. A streak of dark, like a burn mark across the clouds. It shifts every day, moves lower, like it's falling toward the ground. Maybe it's nothing, or maybe it's where this ends. If you're listening, I need you to start writing down what you see. Every detail, every strange thing. Paintings that seem wrong. Animals acting strange. People going quiet. Send those details on analog lines if you can. Use old fax machines. Leave notes at crossroads. Because if this signal is a kind of message, if the burst was intelligent, then the patterns matter. We need data, even now, even if we're afraid. Information is survival. If you can rig a power source, try to rewire an old AM transmitter. Keep it low frequency, ground it deep, shield it with anything metal, trash can lids, copper piping, whatever you've got. The more we talk, the less we vanish. I got a shortwave ping from a man in Billings, Montana. His name was Carter. Retired telecom worker. He said he's building a repeater tower from old CB equipment and car batteries. He's calling it the spine. Said if he can boost the signal far enough, we might be able to string together a low bandwidth communication line across the plains. If you're anywhere near Billings, look for the ridge northeast of the city. That's where he's building. Said he leaves a green tarp up during the day. If it's safe, approach. If not, stay back. He's old, but he's not stupid. He'll protect what's his. We have to be smart. We have to be careful. But we also have to try. Even if the grid's dead, and the sky's cracked, and the only light left is coming from inside rusted-out gas station lanterns, we have to try. I don't know how many more nights I can keep this station going. The battery banks are draining faster than they should. I think some of the panels are damaged. Maybe it's the dust. Maybe it's whatever's in the air. But I'll keep cranking this old charger by hand if I have to. I'll scream into this mic until my throat gives out. Because someone has to remember we were here. That we mattered. That we spoke. That when the light came, we didn't just vanish. We fought to be heard. This is Cade Bishop, still here, still talking. You're not alone, not as long as this signal keeps humming. It's 10:12 a.m. now. The sky just cracked again. That's the only word I have for it. Crack. I heard it before I saw it. Not thunder, not wind. It was like tearing paper, wet paper, stretched across the roof of the world. I ran up to the station's observation window, the one that faces west. There's this line splitting the sky, a deep blue vein pulsing through the orange muck. It wasn't there yesterday. It's moving. I don't know where it's going. If you're out there, if you're looking at the sky too, tell me if you see it. Tell me if it changed for you. Maybe it's all in my head. But if I'm not the only one seeing it, then we're dealing with something even bigger. Maybe it's not just space breaking. Maybe it's time. I haven't eaten since last night. My last can of beans is gone. I've got some protein bars left, maybe 3 or 4. If I ration hard, I can make it through the next 2 days. After that, I'll need to find something. Or someone. I've marked a few places on a hand-drawn map. Some old hunting cabins out near the edge of Ash Creek. There might still be supplies there. Might still be people. But I'm scared to leave this station. Because once I go quiet, who's left to speak? I think about that a lot. About what this mic means now. Before all this, radio was just noise. Background sound in a diner. Late night chatter on someone's drive home from work. Static between pop songs. Now it's all we have. I got a transmission from Idaho last night. Clearwater County. A girl, sounded maybe 16, named Riley. She said she was alone. Said her parents died after the flash. Not burned, not injured. They just stopped talking. Sat down at the table and didn't move again. She tried to bury them in the backyard, but the ground was too hard. So she covered them with a tarp. She said she's been trying to raise chickens, but they won't eat. They just sit in the coop, staring at the wall. She asked me if this is what the end feels like. I didn't know how to answer. How do you tell a kid that, no, it's not the end, but also not lie? How do you tell anyone that? We never got warning. No sirens, no alerts, just a flash. And now silence, hunger, and the slow, aching unraveling of what we once thought was permanent. If you're keeping notes, and you should be, mark this down. Communication lines are fragile. If you're building a community, set up a daily check-in time. Choose one frequency. Leave a voice log. Even if no one responds, keep talking. It gives people a reason to hold on. Tell them where the clean water is, where the danger is, where the light still holds. I think I'm starting to feel it too. The thing Marcus warned me about. The slowness in the brain. The drag. Like gravity's heavier now. Like something's whispering just outside my hearing range. Always pulling. Always humming. Maybe it's the radiation. Maybe it's whatever's inside the signal. There's a rustling under the floorboards of the station now. I thought it was rats at first, but they'd be dead by now. Too much radiation. Too little food. No, this is slower. Like something breathing. I've blocked the stairwell to the basement. I don't want to know what's down there yet. Not until I have to. Somebody, no name given, left a note scratched into the wall of the power substation 3 blocks from here. I found it yesterday while scavenging for wires. The note said, "We were warned." The Voyager saw it first. I didn't know what that meant. But when I got back here, I remembered something Marcus said months ago, before the burst. He'd been tracking deep space readings from an old NASA archive. Said the Voyager probes had picked up faint pulses from a collapsed star. Buried in the data was a signal, repeating every 23 hours and 19 minutes. NASA dismissed it, called it a glitch. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe the flash didn't come out of nowhere. Maybe we ignored it. That's the part that breaks me a little. Not that this happened, but that maybe someone knew and didn't say a thing. The truth is, I don't know what comes next. I don't know if we're looking at extinction or transformation. I just know that people are changing. Not just physically, but in how they look at the world, how they act. Some give up, sit down, and never stand up again. Others start walking, always toward the horizon, always quiet, always empty-eyed. If you see one of them, don't follow, don't talk, don't let them see you. I don't know what they are anymore. I don't think they're completely human, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're just people with no one left to listen. I've started wearing the old station's backup headset, rigged it to an analog tape recorder. I talk into it during the blackout hours, when the batteries dip below what's needed to broadcast. I keep a log of thoughts, messages, anything I might forget. Maybe someday someone will find it. Maybe that's how we leave behind something that isn't just ash and shadows. I keep picturing a kid, decades from now, holding a cracked recorder in some rusted ruin, hearing my voice say, "You're not alone. We were here. We tried." That's the only future I can picture now. Not rebuilding, just being remembered. This is Cade Bishop, still breathing, still fighting the weight in my skull, still keeping the mic warm. If you can hear this, drink something, move your legs, take inventory, say your name out loud. Keep being a person. That's how we stay alive. It's 11:58 a.m. I don't know what day it is anymore. I've stopped counting since the sky stopped keeping time. The crack's wider now. You can see it without squinting, even through the cloud veil. It pulses every couple hours like a slow heartbeat. Blue-white flashes. No sound. But when it lights up, everything else dims. Even the thoughts in my head. It's like it wants to erase. Not destroy. Just erase. I've been keeping the windows covered. A tarp stapled over the north-facing wall. Doesn't do much, but it helps keep the feeling away. I still see it in my sleep. What little sleep I get. A wall of light creeping across the earth. Silent. Hungry. If that's the shape of death now, I don't want to meet it standing under an open sky. I went outside earlier. Briefly. Just down to the lot behind the station to dump some trash and check the rain collectors. I saw a figure again, just standing near the old van behind the dumpster. Pale, like they hadn't seen sunlight in weeks. Hands at their sides. Not shaking, not watching me. Just present, I didn't approach. I don't know if it's the same man from earlier broadcasts, the one Joel saw, the one I saw near 3rd Street. But it moved the same way, like gravity didn't apply, like the world's laws were breaking down just around them. They were gone by the time I came back with the crowbar. I checked the van. No prints, no marks in the dust, but the side mirror was turned inward, just enough to catch the door to the station. They were watching, or whatever's left of them was. I know how that sounds. I know how crazy it sounds. But if you've seen one, then you know. There's something wrong. They move like static feels. Wrong rhythm. Offbeat. Uncomfortable in the bones. I think the flash did something to some of us. And not all at once. Not even visibly. Like the way slow poison doesn't show up right away. It just makes everything worse. Quieter. Heavier. I've started hearing things too. When I'm quiet, like truly quiet, I swear I can hear a hum coming from the radio tower itself. Not through the speakers, not from the equipment, from the metal. A low, teeth on edge kind of hum. Marcus called it resonance decay. Said the gamma burst might have knocked more than satellites out of orbit. Said Earth's magnetic field is shifting, breaking down in places, spinning in others. I don't know if that's science or madness. But the hum's real. If you're picking up strange frequencies, low band, ultra shortwave, or something that sounds like it's too clear for the conditions, write it down. Record it if you can. I've started cataloging what I hear. Every 2 hours, same 5 tones. Rising, falling, then static. No words, no voices, but there's a pattern. I got a signal today from someone named Raina in Santa Fe. She said the stars are gone. Not just hidden. Gone. She hikes into the hills every night to get away from the city. Said she used to map constellations with her grandfather. Said now, there's just blank sky. Like someone cut holes in black paper but forgot to put light behind it. I didn't know what to say, because she's not wrong. I've looked too. The stars don't blink anymore. Some nights, they're just absent, like the sky's pretending. She asked me if I thought we were the only ones left. I told her no. Because I have to say no. Because if I say yes, then this is already over. Raina said she's staying put. Has a well, solar panels, a greenhouse her mom built last year. She invited anyone hearing her voice to head for Santa Fe if they're within walking distance. Said they've got room for 10 more. That's hope. That's how we survive. If you're in the area, look for the old adobe barn near Route 285. Leave a ribbon tied to the road sign if you're friendly. If you're not, don't bother going near her. We protect each other now. We have to. The world we had, the world of speed and screens and artificial lights, it's gone. Burned out in a second of brilliance. And what we've got now are fragments. Little outposts. Islands of voice in a sea of static. I keep thinking about my dad. He used to work night shifts at a transmission station back when analog was king. I remember him coming home at sunrise, tired but proud. Said, if there's one thing people never stop doing, it's listening. I hope he was right. I hope someone hears this. Even now, with the sky split and the air wrong and strangers turning into silence, I hope someone still tunes in just to know they're not crazy. That someone else is still out here trying. Because I am. Because I will. Until the batteries die, or the air runs out, or that light in the sky finally touches down. I'll be here. This is Cade Bishop, 105.9 FM, Carson. The last voice, I guess. Still fighting the dark. Still hoping. Still listening. It's just after 1:33 p.m. The light came again. About 20 minutes ago, the sky lit up like it was noon on a clean summer day. Bright, pure, and so wrong. It only lasted a few seconds, but it left this echo behind. My skin feels tight. My teeth hurt. The kind of ache that sits in the roots and hums, like the bones themselves are remembering the flash. Everything went quiet when it hit. Not just the usual silence, but deeper. The generator hiccuped. The signal flickered. Even the birds, what few were left, stopped chirping. It was like the world flinched. I crawled under the desk, like that was going to help. And when I came out, the light was gone. But there was something else. The signal I've been tracking. The hum that sometimes bleeds through the metal in the walls. It got louder. Not through the speakers. Not through the wires. Through the floor. I put my ear to the concrete. I swear it was talking. Not in words, not in a language. But something like rhythm. Repeating. Familiar. Almost like breathing. I know how that sounds. I know. But if you've been here long enough, if you've survived this long, you know that logic has started unraveling. Time bends. Memory slides. What makes sense now is whatever keeps you moving. So, I wrote it down. The rhythm. 4 beats. A pause. 3 beats. Another pause. Then 5. Maybe it means something. Maybe it's just madness. But the moment I stopped listening, I started forgetting what I heard. That scares me more than anything. This station's holding up. For now. I ran a check on the backup cells. Still at 34%. That'll get me to sunset. After that, I'll need to cycle the crank rig. Takes about 45 minutes of sweat for a 20-minute broadcast. It's stupid, inefficient, but it works. There's a kind of comfort in the grind, in the rhythm. It reminds me that I'm still here. I got a voice broadcast out of Helena, Montana, just before the flash. Man named Grayson. Sounded ex-military. Said he's holed up in an old Cold War comms bunker. Deep, reinforced, triple-layer shielding. Said the gamma burst barely touched him. He's working on a map, not just of survivors, but of frequency anomalies. He's been picking up these strange signal clusters, like echoes of other broadcasts repeating days later, scrambled, distorted. He called them aftershocks. Said they carry fragments of things that haven't happened yet, like future noise bleeding into the present. He said one of the clips he caught was me, reading a message I haven't even received yet. It said, "Don't trust the still ones. They're listening." I haven't said that. Not yet. But now I've written it in my log. I don't know what to do with that. Grayson says he's got space for 6 more people. He's been triangulating safe zones, places where the radiation levels are dropping instead of rising. He thinks whatever hit us isn't uniform. Said some places are adapting. Said the soil near Kalispell is starting to show signs of new growth. Faster than it should. Faster than anything natural. Plants that weren't there before. Said one grew from concrete. I didn't believe him. Still don't. But I wrote it down anyway. We have to write everything down. Especially the lies. Because lies are just truths that haven't found the right angle yet. I walked 3 blocks south this morning. Past the pharmacy. Past the burnt-out Civic parked sideways in the middle of 6th Street. Found a woman sitting on the curb, wrapped in a green quilt, staring at a Polaroid photo like it was the only thing left holding her together. She didn't speak, didn't even blink when I asked her name, just held out the photo. It was a picture of a man, maybe her husband, standing next to a row of sunflowers. Behind him was a sky I barely remember, blue and stupid and full of birds. I handed it back. She nodded once. I left her there. I didn't know what else to do. There's this thing nobody tells you about the end of the world. It's not fire. It's not war. It's not screams in the streets. It's stillness. People just stop. Stop moving. Stop talking. Stop being. It's not death. It's something quieter, like the last flicker of a candle before the smoke. But here's the thing. We can be louder than that, even now. Even with all of it, gamma bursts and signal ghosts and silent walkers and bones that ache with memory, we can still talk. I'll be here again in an hour. I'm going to read out names from the last few shortwave contacts I've had. If you hear yours, if you recognize someone, write it down, mark it, tape it to a wall. We're still real if we speak each other's names. This is Cade Bishop, 105.9 FM, still barely standing in the Carson quiet, still pulsing, still fighting the pull. Stay awake, stay moving, stay here. It's 2:42 p.m. The sun should be high overhead, but it's just a soft gray smear now, light with no heat, shape with no edge. The birds are gone. The insects, too. It's the kind of silence that feels personal, like the world is holding its breath just to hear if we're still making noise. I boiled rainwater an hour ago. It came out cloudy. I let it cool in a tin bowl and watched a film gather on top, like oil, but darker. I thought about drinking it anyway. Still might. My mouth feels like cotton and rust. I've been rationing salt. That's something nobody tells you to do in emergencies, but your body will betray you without it. Heat, stress, blood pressure. Salt matters. So if you've got table salt, sea salt, pickled anything, save it. Even a cracker can keep your heart steady longer than a vitamin bar. Okay, names. I promised names. If you're listening and you hear a name you know, mark it, shout it, write it on something solid. Eric Niles, north of Boise, last heard from 6:02 a.m., Mountain Time, trying to reach his mother's cabin near Cascade Lake, traveling on foot with a red mountain bike. Said his radio only works in the mornings. He sounded tired, but clear. Maya Halbrook, Fort Stockton, Texas, said she and her brother are living inside an old irrigation control shed. Their dog, Baxter, won't go outside after sundown. They saw the sky shift twice yesterday. She says the stars fell wrong. I asked what that meant. She said, they fell, but didn't land. Andre didn't give a last name. Coastal Oregon. Said the ocean talks now. Said if you stand near the cliffs long enough, the waves mimic voices you know. He hears his father's voice calling him from the surf, even though his father died last year. Sarah D. from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Her signal was fading. She said she still sees flashes under her skin when she closes her eyes. Said she hasn't seen another person in 3 days. She's drawing maps by hand, leaving them in old mailboxes, hoping someone follows the chalk marks. That's the part that gets me. Even now, even after the world ended, we're still trying to leave directions for each other. That means something. I haven't heard from Marcus. Still, it's been a day and a half since he left for Tonopah. I've swept all his usual fallback frequencies. I even checked the HAM boards he used to scribble down for fun. Nothing. I keep telling myself it's just a delay, that maybe the observatory needed repairs. Maybe he found something big and he's focused on logging it. Maybe he's not alone. But the part of me that won't stop thinking knows what kind of world he walked into. And this world eats the curious fast. I found a tape this morning, one of the old cassettes from before the surge, labeled Live Broadcast, April 7th. I don't remember recording it, but I played it anyway. Static at first, then my own voice. Calm, professional, pre-apocalypse. Then something strange. I said something I've never said before. We never should have looked at the signal twice. I said it like it was a fact, like I'd known it all along. And then the tape cut off. That scared me, deep down, because I don't remember saying that. I don't remember recording that broadcast. I've kept meticulous logs for 15 years. Nothing about an April 7th segment lines up with that content. What if the aftershocks Grayson talked about are more than echoes? What if they're folds? What if we're starting to repeat? I don't know. I don't want to know. Not yet. But if you find recordings of yourself saying things you don't remember, don't erase them. Don't throw them away. Keep them close. We may need those fragments to stitch the whole thing back together. Memory is going to matter more than food. I passed by the community center earlier, the one Danny Mays used to run, still intact, doors open, no one inside. But the walls, God, the walls, covered in drawings, pages taped up in rows, marker, crayon, charcoal, faces, maps, handprints. One sheet had a single word written over and over again in different handwriting. Waiting. I don't know what they're waiting for. But the chairs in the main hall were all facing the window, like they were expecting something to show up from the sky. I didn't stay long. I took a page with me. A charcoal sketch of a tower with its top missing. It looks like this station, except mine still stands, for now. I pinned it to the wall here, behind the mic. A reminder that everything breaks eventually. But not today. Today, we're still here. Still talking. Still trying. This is Cade Bishop, broadcasting on 105.9 FM from what's left of Carson, Nevada. If you're listening, send me something. A signal. A scrap of sound. Say your name into the air and let the wind carry it. Let the silence know you're not ready to go. Let me know you're still real. Because I need that. We all do. It's 4:05 p.m. There's a fine layer of dust settling on everything now. The mixer board, the mic cable, my wrists. I wiped it off the windowsill twice, but it keeps coming back. Like ash, but gray-green. When I touch it, it smears like pollen. I don't know where it's coming from. The wind's not moving. The sky hasn't changed. It just appears. I'm starting to think the air itself is changing. I set a glass of water outside the back door this morning, just to see. It stayed clear for a while. Then, around noon, it turned the color of weak tea. Not brown, not orange, just off. Like it soaked something up. I dumped it, not risking it. If you're still near the outskirts of Carson, and you're using rooftop collectors or barrels for rainwater, cover them. Use cloth, plastic, anything you can. Keep the water sealed and dark. This dust, it's not like regular fallout. It's slow. It creeps. And it wants in. I got a call earlier. Well, not a call. A signal. Old shortwave. cracked and broken like a cassette left in the sun. It was a child's voice. Couldn't have been more than 8 or 9. They said, "We can see the tower. We're not coming closer. The man outside has no mouth." That's all. Then silence. I rewound the tape 3 times. Same thing. "We're not coming closer. The man outside has no mouth." There's no one outside right now. I checked 3 times. But now, every time the light shifts, I find myself staring at the edge of the building, expecting to see a shadow standing too still. I don't know if that was a real transmission. I don't know if it came from a child, but it didn't sound like something made up. It sounded scared. It sounded tired. It sounded human. If you're out there and you sent that, I hear you. Stay put. Stay hidden. Don't come near the tower unless you have to. And if you do, knock twice on the northwest side window. I'll recognize the pattern. I have a crowbar and a small knife. I don't want to use either, but I will. There was another contact, too. One I haven't told you about yet. Last night, during blackout hours, I picked up a pattern on channel 17, a series of tones, short bursts, no words. At first, I thought it was interference. Then I matched the timing. Every 22 minutes and 14 seconds, the same sequence repeated. Beep, beep, pause, beep, pause, beep, beep. I wrote it down, marked it with a pencil on the wall behind the receiver. This morning, the same sequence showed up in my dreams. I was walking through an empty supermarket, shelves bare, lights flickering. That same tone kept playing from the speakers overhead, like elevator music for the end of the world. When I woke up, my teeth were grinding. I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of it means. Maybe the signal's in us now. Not just in the sky, in our blood, in the way we think, the way we dream. I haven't slept more than an hour in the last 36. Every time I do, I see people standing in rows, eyes closed, mouths open, listening to a sound I can't hear. When I wake, I'm sweating and cold. I try to stay awake, but the brain is not a machine. It wants patterns. It wants rhythm. It wants peace. And all I've got is this mic, this room, and the hum of an old tower held together by rust and luck. There's still no sign of Marcus. I hope to God he's somewhere warm, somewhere with light, somewhere where the dreams don't touch. If you're keeping a journal, and you should be, write this down. Do not trust the sky after 3 a.m. Boil water twice. Avoid mirrors after long power outages. Just trust me. If the birds come back but don't blink, leave. If you see someone standing still with their hands open to the air, do not interrupt them. Stay human. That last one is getting harder. The broadcast strength is fading. I had to manually boost the gain with copper wire I stripped from an old heater in the back room. It's not safe. The rig runs hot. I can hear it ticking, like a bomb too tired to go off. But it works. For now. I'm going to read out more names. If you hear one, if it rings any bell, even faintly, say it out loud. That's how we hold the dead. That's how we prove they were more than ash. Lana Perez, southern outskirts of Albuquerque, found shelter in an old school bus on the hill near Tramway Boulevard, keeping track of solar activity with a broken watch and her father's notes. Said the sky buzzes when she closes her eyes. Jules Okafor, Memphis, claimed to have intercepted a message from what's left of NORAD. Said the signal was brief, encrypted, but ended with the words, "Repeat sequence confirmed." He thinks it means we're in a loop, that none of this is new. Thomas Green, Eastern Wyoming. Traveling with 2 dogs. Said he saw a tree split in half without falling. Said the leaves on one side turned black. The others kept growing. No explanation. There's more. Too many to read in one go. But they're out there. You're out there. And that's enough. For now. This is Cade Bishop. Still here. Still broadcasting. Even if the world ends 10 more times, I'll be right here with a mic in my hand and hope in my chest, thin as it's gotten. Don't trust the silence. Keep making noise. We're not done yet. It's 5:31 p.m. Something's wrong with the light. It's dimmer now, but not like evening. It's dimmer in a way that makes colors look sick, like the world's running out of ink. I held my hand up to the window and my skin looked gray. No shadows, just a soft blur around everything, like reality's being smudged at the edges. I haven't seen the stars in 2 nights. They should be coming out by now, even through cloud, even through smoke. But there's nothing up there anymore. Just that long vertical scar in the sky, bent like a crack in old glass. It pulses sometimes. You feel it more than see it. A thump in the back of your head. A sound you can't hear. Like pressure in a place you didn't know existed. I used to laugh at people who said the universe was watching us. Now, I'm not so sure. I tried rewiring the backup antenna this afternoon. Climbed up the service ladder on the south side of the tower, just 20 feet off the ground, but my legs were shaking the whole time. The metal's warm to the touch, even in the cold. I don't think it's heat from the sun. I think it's something else. A charge, a residue. I wrapped a copper wire 3 times around the base mast, clipped it back into the old broadcast relay. My range might have improved. If you're picking this up outside of Nevada now, let me know. Drop a signal on 105.9 FM or channel 12 CB. 1 long beep, then silence. I'll hear you. Even if I can't answer back, I'll know you're there. I've got some news from the outside, what's left of it. A shortwave burst came through just after 4 p.m. A man from Kansas, name sounded like Derek or maybe Eric, said he was tracking seismic activity, claimed the gamma event did more than scramble electronics, claimed it shifted the magnetic alignment of something deep under the earth. He said the core's rotation is changing, slowing. He said it might not be a matter of weather or radiation or even survival anymore. He said, "It's about balance now. The planet is off kilter." Then he coughed, hard, like blood-hardened lungs kind of cough. Then silence. I haven't heard him again. If you know a Derek from Kansas who used to work in geology or emergency response, he might still be out there, somewhere under a dome of broken sky and dead soil, trying to make sense of a planet gone sideways. Let's talk about the plants. I found a patch of weeds outside the station growing along the edge of the fence. They weren't there yesterday. They sprouted in gravel. No soil, no water. Thin, sharp leaves. Pale yellow stems. When I touched one, it shivered like it had nerves. I cut it. It bled. No sap, no chlorophyll. Just a clear liquid that hissed when it hit the concrete. I've got it in a jar now. Sealed. Labeled. I don't know why I'm keeping it. Maybe the old world part of me still believes in samples. Still believes someone will want to study this someday. Still believes there's a future where someone holds it up to the light and says, "This is when the Earth started fighting back." Or maybe I'm just scared of throwing anything away now. Like every scrap of life is worth saving. Even the strange parts. Even the dangerous parts. I've started talking to myself more, not on air, just when the mic's off. I pace the station floor and say things like, "Okay, Cade, just another hour. Just one more check-in. Just stay vertical. Just don't go quiet." It helps. Not much, but enough. There's a sort of rhythm to survival now. Every morning, I check the solar readout. Every hour, I scan the bands. Every afternoon, I write one page in the black notebook. Observations, names, small truths. And every evening, I speak to you, even if you're not there. Even if this signal's just bouncing off the sky and back down into nothing, I speak anyway. Because speaking is what keeps the ghosts from settling. That's what this really is now. A world full of ghosts. People who died slow. People who disappeared fast. People who changed into something they never asked to be. And us, the ones left talking. I'm going to read one last name before I sign off for a while. I've said this name before, but I'll say it again. Marcus Hale, physicist, friend, believer in patterns. Last seen heading west toward the Tonopah Array. If you hear this, Marcus, if you're still out there, come back. I still have the notes you gave me. I've been tracking the pulses like you said. I've marked the sky where it ripples. I've logged the signals. I've kept the power going. I've kept talking. You said this might happen. Now it has. So come back. Help us make sense of it. Help us build something from the noise. This is Cade Bishop. Still breathing. Still watching the sky go soft and strange. Still here. If this is the long goodbye, we're not going quietly. It's 6:49 p.m. Sunset isn't real anymore. It's just a slow dimming, like someone's turning the world down with a knob that doesn't click. No golds, no reds, just gray giving up. I lit the last emergency candle a few minutes ago. Not because I needed the light. I've still got enough battery to run the overheads another 2 hours. But because it smells like vanilla. For a few minutes, I wanted something familiar. Something soft. Something from before. The flame's flickering now. It shouldn't. There's no breeze in here. All the windows are sealed. But it's bending to something I can't see. That's happening more often. Things shifting when nothing's there to move them. Shadows stretching in ways that don't match their source. Last night, I swear the hallway outside the studio was longer than it should have been. I've walked it 1,000 times. From the door to the generator bay, it's exactly 23 paces. But I counted 29, and the door wasn't where it should be. I waited. I sat on the floor. I closed my eyes. When I opened them again, it was back to 23. I didn't imagine that. Something's wrong with space. Not the big, star-filled kind. The here kind. The inside kind. The part that lets us trust the shape of a room. The feel of a wall. The echo of our own voice. That's what's breaking now. Not just systems. The rules. I'm still logging everything. Every pulse. Every anomaly. Every name. Speaking of, I caught a new voice out of northern Arizona this afternoon. Came in faint, flickering like candlelight in fog. She said her name was Noelle. She's living out of a ranger station near the edge of the Coconino Forest. Said the trees aren't right anymore. That they lean when no wind blows. That they hum at night. She said her brother went out at dawn to gather firewood and came back speaking in a voice that wasn't his. He's asleep now. She's scared to wake him. She said the birds outside have started circling. Not flying away, not perching, just circling. And when she looks up, she swears they're moving in a spiral that points down. If anyone near Coconino hears this, check in. Find Noelle. Bring supplies. Don't go alone. Bring salt. Bring fire. And never look straight into the trees after dark. I don't know if any of that's true, but I believe her voice. It was steady, honest, not panicked, just worn down. Like the edges of something that used to be sharp. Like all of us now. I keep thinking about those first few hours after the flash. I'd never seen so many people so confused. Not angry, not screaming, just bewildered, looking at each other like, what happens now? And then, nothing. No alarms. No broadcasts. No order. Like the chain of command just stopped existing. People waited for rescue. Waited for food drops. Waited for someone to say, this is temporary. But no one came. And slowly, the waiting became surviving. And the surviving became something else. I passed a man on 4th and Maple yesterday. He was building something from scrap. Old radios, copper wire, wood. Looked like a giant dream catcher, strung tight with circuit boards. I asked him what it was. He said, it keeps the noise away. I didn't ask what he meant. I just walked. Because sometimes it's better not to know. Sometimes what people build in the dark is the only thing keeping them from falling into it. I still sleep with the shortwave radio on. It's just static most nights. But every now and then, something slips through. A song I don't recognize. A voice with no language. A heartbeat that matches my own for a few seconds before veering off into silence. Sometimes I think that's the earth trying to talk back. Trying to figure out what we became after the light came. We're not human the way we were. That's not a loss. It's a fact. We've been altered. Not just by radiation, not just by fear, but by the silence itself, by the waiting, by the stretching of days into a kind of hollow ache. But here's the part that matters. You're still listening. I don't know who you are. I don't know how far away you are. But if my voice is in your ears, if this signal reached you, then you're not gone. And neither am I. We're still real. We're still here. And until something reaches down and pulls this tower from its rusted bones, I'll keep speaking. Because someone has to. This is Cade Bishop, 105.9 FM, Carson, Nevada, broadcasting from what's left of the world. The light may be broken, but the signal still holds. It's 8:12 p.m. The light's gone now. Fully. Not just the dimming. Not the fake sunset I've been trying to accept. It's black. So black it feels thick. Like there's weight behind it. I opened the studio door earlier to let in some air, and I swear it felt like I was staring into a room with no walls, no floor. Just void. The kind of dark that doesn't reflect, doesn't return. It just eats. And it's silent out there. No cicadas, no wind. Even the hum I used to hear in the tower's frame is gone. I tried shouting earlier, just to see. Hello? My own voice sounded wrong, like it didn't come back the way it left. I closed the door after that. Locked it. I don't think a lock means anything now, but it helps me believe in the old rules. I found an old crank lantern in the emergency drawer. It still works. The light is yellow and flickery, and when I spin the crank too fast, it screams. But I keep it close, It reminds me of campfires, of when we used to believe darkness was just a setting before it started watching. I got a whisper earlier, not a full signal, just breath over the band. I couldn't tell if it was male or female, just shallow inhales spaced evenly, about 10 seconds apart, for almost 2 minutes. Then, just as it started to loop, I swear it said my name, Cade, and then it was gone. I checked all the dials, ran diagnostics on the board. No crossover frequency, no recorded file, just static. And then silence. I haven't heard it since, but I've had chills on the back of my neck ever since. If that was you, if you sent that, I heard you. Please speak again. Even if it's just a word. Even if it's not mine. Tell me you're still here. Tell me the dark didn't take you. Tell me I'm not just broadcasting to the bones of a dead sky. I cracked open the floor panel earlier, the one near the transmitter's main line. There's something wrong under there. The wires are slick. The insulation's melting. Not from heat, but from something else. They feel soft, organic, and they're humming. Not like they used to. Not electrical. Like breathing. I taped them up, wrapped them in a towel, moved the console away. But now the floor's warm, even though the rest of the room is freezing. What is this? What did the burst carry? What was inside the light? I remember Marcus once said that gamma bursts are like the universe blinking too hard, that they don't just kill, they scrub, wipe clean, reset the board. But this wasn't a clean wipe. It left marks, and maybe it added something too. I'm still taking names, still logging voices, still keeping time, even though time no longer behaves. Here's what I've got in the last 4 hours. Beatrice R., near St. George, Utah, living in a cave system mapped out by her grandfather before he passed. Claims the deeper she goes, the less the buzzing in her teeth gets. Thinks the caves shield her. Says the air's cooler down there, cleaner. Says she hasn't seen the stars since Monday and doesn't miss them. Hamza El Nouri, western outskirts of Atlanta. Still alive. Still running water filtration rigs made from busted air conditioners and charcoal. He's got 7 people with him. 1 baby. They move buildings every 3 days to stay ahead of the echo. I asked what that meant. He said, "It follows the quiet." Lucille W., from somewhere in Saskatchewan. She didn't say much, just listed names, 10 of them. All people she buried, all people who went to sleep with their eyes open. Said they didn't suffer. Said she thinks they saw something she didn't. Said she hopes she never sees it. I don't have coordinates. I don't have exact locations. But I have voices, and that's better than maps. That's better than satellites. That's better than silence. The candle burned out a few minutes ago. I'm back to the lantern now. The shadows on the wall move like they're slow dancing. Not to the rhythm of my hands. Just on their own. I try not to look at them, because if I do, I might start seeing things that stare back. I've got a few more batteries, enough for one more broadcast before I need to go out and scavenge again. Tomorrow, I'll head to the fire station. It's 2 blocks north. Last time I checked, the front was barricaded, but I know a side window that was cracked open. If I find medical kits, I'll bring them back. If I find people. God, I hope I find people. Even if they're scared. Even if they're not sure who I am. Even if they don't talk. Just seeing someone would be enough. I'll be back on the air again in 2 hours, if the power holds. if the sky doesn't drop, if my hands still work. Until then, I'll be listening. To the hum, to the names, to the spaces between the static. This is Kate Bishop, still breathing, still recording, still seeing shapes in the dark and refusing to let them in. If you're out there, don't go quiet. Don't go still. Stay you. Stay here. It's 9:57 p.m. There's a low vibration in the walls now, not shaking, just this steady hum, like an old cello string plucked once and never let go. I can't tell if it's in the metal, or the concrete, or my own bones. I press my hand to the wall, and I feel it. Steady. Constant. I think it's been there since the last pulse. I tried unplugging everything, flipped every breaker, killed every line that isn't keeping this transmitter alive. Still, it's there. Deep, low, endless. I haven't slept. Haven't eaten. I'm not hungry anymore. I don't think that's a good sign. If you're still listening, and I mean really listening, can you hear it? Turn the volume up. Sit still. Let the static run. You might hear it too. It's not just noise. It's pattern, and it's growing stronger. I saw the sky break again. That's the only word I have. Break. A jagged split down the western edge of the clouds, like someone dragged a knife through thick paint. Light bled through, pale and sick and silent. Then it closed again. No thunder, no rush of air. Just open, shut, like an eye. I don't know what's behind it. I don't want to know. But it's watching. I got a burst on Channel 9 about half an hour ago. A woman from Anchorage. Didn't catch her name. She sounded breathless, like she'd been running. She said the animals stopped dying. Let me say that again. She said the animals stopped dying. She watched a deer get hit by a falling limb, crushed its ribs. It should have bled out, but it stood back up. Ribs broken, lungs punctured. Just stood, staggered off into the trees. Later, she saw it again, standing still at the edge of a frozen lake. Its eyes were white. She said the trees around it bent inward, like they were listening. I don't know if I believe her, but nothing about this world feels like fiction anymore. If you're near Alaska, if you're hearing this, stay away from the forests. Stick to open ground. Keep fire close. And if you see animals that don't move when you make noise, leave. Immediately. I found a photo in the break room drawer tonight. One of the old staff shots, back when this station was more than a bunker. 6 people, smiling, holding mugs, wearing branded fleece jackets. All gone now. One of them was me. I look young in that photo. Clean. Unbent. I pinned it to the wall next to the frequency log, just to remember that I was once a part of a world that had schedules, mornings, paychecks, music at lunch. That memory hurts more than anything else. Not because it's gone, but because it still exists in my mind, untouched. I haven't forgotten yet. That's how I know I'm still me. If you're out there and you're forgetting things, little things like names, smells, the color of your mother's voice, write it down. Not for you, for whoever comes next. Because this world isn't ending all at once. It's erasing, and what we remember may be the only thing that stops the dark from finishing the job. I've got 5 names left for tonight. If they mean anything to you, don't let them go quiet. Joanna S., Roanoke, Virginia. Trapped in an underground parking garage with a broken hip. 3 survivors with her. Their last flashlight died 2 days ago. They take turns sitting by the elevator shaft, hoping for a sliver of daylight. If you're nearby, look for spray-painted arrows near 6th Street. They lead to her. Leafnegard, outskirts of Minneapolis, broadcasted a message that said, "It's in the reflections now." He was using mirrored surfaces to signal across the river. He hasn't responded in 18 hours. Amara Chen, somewhere near the Nevada-Utah border, traveling with her father, last heard building a transmitter from scavenged aircraft parts. Her voice was strong, calm. She said she still believes the sun will come back. Greg Torres, Chicago, said he's living in the subway tunnels. Says he's seen movement in the abandoned stations. Said the graffiti on the walls changes overnight. New messages in old spray paint. Ones no one remembers writing. A child, unnamed. Sounded 4, maybe 5 years old. Whispered into a dead line. The light is cold now. The man in the corner doesn't move. He only breathes when I stop. That one hasn't left me. I keep seeing that child in my mind. Curled up in a closet, holding a broken walkie, waiting for a voice that never answers. If you're listening, whoever you are, I hear you. I'm here. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what the next sky split will bring. But I'll be here. With the mic open. With the signal humming. With the truth laid bare. This is Cade Bishop. Carson, Nevada. One man in a dying station. Speaking into the dark. Still fighting. Still listening. Still yours. It's 11:24 p.m. The station's lights are flickering now. Not from power loss, not from grid instability. Just flickering like they're unsure if they should be on. They hold for a few minutes, then blink. No pattern, no surge, just doubt. That's what it feels like in here. Not danger, not dread. Doubt. The kind that crawls under your skin and asks questions you don't want to answer. Like, are you the only one left? Or, was there ever anyone listening at all? I touched the wall again. Still warm, still humming. The air smells faintly of ozone and something else. Something old. Not rot, not mold. Like heated metal in an empty church. Like memory. I haven't left the station in 10 hours. Not since I saw the figure at the base of the tower. Tall. Still. Hands open. Not moving. No face. No clothes, as far as I could tell. Just the outline of a human shape that never stepped forward, never turned. It was still there at dusk. It's still there now. I can feel it. Not in my eyes. In the space just behind them. The part where presence registers before logic catches up. I don't think it's here for me. But I do think it's waiting. Maybe it always was. I'm burning through power too fast. The crank rig's nearly useless now. Gearbox is slipping. I managed to pull enough juice from a broken solar bank I found in a trailer 2 blocks down, but it's barely holding charge. I've rewired most of the studio lights to a single strip, just enough to see the mic. The rest is dark, and maybe that's better. Maybe it's time to let some parts of this place fade. I tuned into Channel 2 just before going live. Heard laughter. Real laughter. 2 voices. Male and female. I couldn't catch the names. Couldn't even tell what they were saying. But they were laughing. Loud. Full. Breathless. I started crying. I didn't even know I was doing it. Just hearing it. The sound of someone forgetting for a moment, even in this, broke something in me I didn't know I was still holding together. That sound is hope. Raw and stupid and undeserved, but real. If you're out there, whoever you are, thank you. You reminded me that there's still something worth saying. I got a message from Liam, somewhere north of Sacramento. Said he's traveling with a group of 8, mostly kids. He's the oldest, 28. They're walking the back roads, following downed power lines and leaving markers in chalk. Said they pass old highway signs and write poems on them. Said they're trying to remind the world it still means something. I told him I'd read one if he sent it. Here's what he left. The sky broke once and took the stars, but we still walk beneath the scars. Our feet remember, so do our hands. Even silence needs something that stands. That's from a 17-year-old named Mari. Says she wants to be a writer if the world ever steadies again. Mari, if you're listening, you already are one. Words are architecture when the buildings fall. Keep writing. I keep thinking about Marcus again. He always said the universe wasn't cruel, it was indifferent. But maybe that's wrong. Maybe it was trying to tell us something, and we never learned how to listen. Until now. Until it was too late. Or maybe it's not too late. Maybe it's just too quiet. I still get the pulses. Still feel them in my molars, in the backs of my knees. Every 93 minutes, without fail. A full-body reminder that time hasn't stopped. It's just slowed, bent. I think the world's on a different track now. Not broken, just off script, and we're all improvising. Some of us freeze, some wander, some of us build weird antenna dream catchers out of trash and circuit boards and call it a religion. And some of us, like me, sit behind a mic and whisper into the night, hoping that someone, anyone, is still there to whisper back. So here's what I'll ask tonight. If you can still hear me, don't give up on words. Write them. Speak them. Carve them into trees or tape them to gas pumps or scratch them into the dirt. Tell someone what you saw, what you felt, what you miss. Because in the end, all we are is what we can pass on when everything else fails. This is Cade Bishop, 105.9 FM, beneath a sky that doesn't blink anymore. I'm tired, but I'm still here. Still noise. Still human. It's 12:58 a.m. Still no stars. I waited. I stood outside the booth for nearly an hour, just looking up. Nothing. Not even a trace of moonlight. Just the crack, thin and sharp now, like a scar healing wrong. Every so often it pulses, and every time it does, I swear I can feel my heartbeat skip, like something's syncing with it, like my body wants to match its rhythm. I'm not letting it. I stood barefoot in the gravel out back, fists clenched, saying my name out loud, over and over, like a tether. Cade Bishop, Cade Bishop, Cade Bishop. It helped. For a minute. Then I came back inside. Locked the door. There's a chill tonight that's not from the air. It's in the walls. It's in the floor. Like something's breathing beneath the concrete again. That same low warmth, but now with a pressure behind it. A pulse. A presence. I hear whispers now and then. Not voices. Not clear. More like breath that's been taught how to shape vowels. It happens right before I fall asleep. If I fall asleep. Sometimes, in that space between real and not real, I hear my mother's voice. Or what I remember of it. But twisted. Distant. Like she's speaking underwater. The first time I heard it, I smiled. The second time, I knew it wasn't her. And now I don't respond, because I think it's learning. Whatever this is, it's not just an event. It's something watching how we fall apart and trying to imitate it. I got a name tonight. Not from the signal, not from a call, but scratched into the side of the booth, on the outside, near the window I sealed up 2 weeks ago. The name is Lucian. I don't know anyone named Lucian. I haven't left this station in 2 days. No one's been in or out. And yet the name is there, written in straight, perfect lines, like it was etched with a nail or a knife. Beneath it, he's not here to hurt you, but don't follow. That's all. I didn't erase it. I didn't cover it. I just stared at it for a long time. Then I came back inside and turned the mic on. Because this, right here, is the only place where things still make sense. I had a voice come through around 11:30. Young, calm, a boy. He said he was in an abandoned laundromat in Oklahoma City. Said the washers still work if you hand crank the flywheels. Said he's been using them to clean old blankets, rags, anything he can salvage from houses no one lives in anymore. Said he left signs taped to the front door. You are clean here. He didn't leave a name, but he said if I read his message, he'd know I heard him. So kid, if you're listening, I heard you. And that matters. That matters. Because in a world where nothing feels clean anymore, your little laundromat sanctuary is proof that people still care about things that seem small. Warm cloth, fresh water, a moment to feel human again. And for anyone near Oklahoma City, if you find that building, if you see that sign, go inside. Not because it's safe, but because it's sacred. We've stopped building temples, but we can still build kindness. I'm writing again, with my hands, in a notebook, pencil on paper, real lines, real scratches. I've filled 4 of them now. Logs, names, observations, sketches. 1 page of lyrics to a song I don't remember learning. Maybe I made it up. It goes like this. The light was never coming back, so we made our own with sound. The stars went blind and left us here, but still we're reaching out. If there's a God, it's just a pulse, a whisper through the floor. But when I speak, I feel you close, and I don't need much more. I don't know what that is. But I read it out loud anyway, because somewhere out there, someone might need to hear a voice that isn't screaming, that isn't lying, that's just trying. There's a storm to the north. I can feel it in the air. Not a thunderstorm, not wind, a different kind of pressure, a soft, low shudder that rolls through the ground like a wave you can't see. If you're near the Sierras, be careful. Stay inside. Stay grounded. And if you see blue light without heat, don't go near it. Someone in that light called me once, and I haven't heard them again. I'll be back on air in another hour, if the signal holds. If I don't black out. If the floor doesn't swallow the rest of the wires. I'm down to 1 full battery bank. That gives me maybe 4 more sessions before I have to go out again. I'm not looking forward to it, but I will, because someone's got to stay loud. This is Kate Bishop, broadcasting into whatever's left of the night. I see the dark. I feel it pressing in. But I still have a voice, and I'll keep using it. It's 2:11 a.m., The station's so quiet I can hear the dust settling, little taps on the desk, barely their ticks on the mic stand. Every so often the floor creaks, not from weight, just temperature, or time, or something else. I haven't heard movement outside in hours. That figure near the tower, it's gone now. Or maybe it never was. I've started doubting what I see through the windows. The glass has a strange tint now, like it's thickening, or like it's remembering too much light. I taped cardboard over the east-facing panes. The last thing I want is to catch that sky splitting open mid-sentence. I checked the shortwave an hour ago. Picked up something faint. A man speaking French. At least I think it was French. The signal was warped, watery. His voice kept looping over itself, like he was talking through mirrors. I could only make out one clear phrase, repeated 3 times before the static swallowed him. They are inside the orbit now. What orbit? Whose orbit? I don't know. But it felt like something important. If anyone out there speaks fluent French, listen to the bands between 4.8 and 5.2 megahertz. The voice rises every 23 minutes. You'll hear him. And if you decode anything, send it back. We need each other more than ever. I still have the tape of the child's voice. I played it again tonight, over and over. The light is cold now. The man in the corner doesn't move. He only breathes when I stop. I played it backwards. I ran it through a frequency visualizer. Nothing. No hidden signal. Just fear. Pure and simple. The kind of fear that doesn't lie. I think we're starting to understand what this is now. Not a bomb, not a virus, not a war. This is a slow overwrite, a global memory wipe. The flash wasn't the end. It was the first keystroke. And now it's rewriting the air, the land, the water, the rhythm in our heads, the rules. Marcus was right. If he's alive, God, I hope he's alive, I think he'd be scribbling formulas like mad. He once said, "The universe has a language, and gamma bursts are its punctuation marks." Maybe this one was a full stop, or a question mark, or maybe just a correction. I found something earlier in the back closet, under a pile of station t-shirts and broken CD cases. A journal, not mine, not labeled. Just a red leather-bound notebook with frayed corners and the smell of smoke. I didn't write it, but the handwriting looks like mine. The first page says, "When the sky opened, I saw the other station, the one beneath this one, where the broadcast never ends." That's it. I flipped through the rest. Pages and pages of signal logs I don't recognize. Coordinates I've never seen. Diagrams of towers that don't match any blueprint I've ever used. But the ink is fresh, and every entry is dated for tomorrow. I'm staring at it now. It's sitting right next to the mic. I haven't written in it yet. But part of me thinks, I already did. If you're hearing this, and you found something that shouldn't exist, a photo from a time that hasn't happened, a message from a voice you've never met but still know, don't destroy it. We might be circling ourselves. And if that's true, we might need breadcrumbs, names, more of them tonight. Because the silence is winning, and this is how we push back. Kenneth Byers, southeastern Colorado, said he lives in an abandoned greenhouse, uses mirrors to redirect sunlight into the soil. He's growing beans, real ones. He sent a message saying, "The leaves tremble after midnight." Eliana Toma, near Flagstaff, broadcasted a poem every hour on the hour yesterday. The last line stuck with me. If the sky forgets us, we'll remind it with fire. A voice I don't know, possibly automated, from near the old Vancouver Radio Dome. This is the last request. If you are clean, you may return. If you are not, stay in the earth. That looped 3 times, then static. Cass, a teenager from outside Lubbock, said he's carving messages into road signs and gas pumps. Left one that said, "Mom, I'm still walking. Still me, still smiling." I cried when I read that. Still am. I don't know how long we have. Not before death. That's not the question anymore. The question is, how long do we stay real? How long until we stop recognizing our own reflections? I'm going to sleep for an hour if I can. Just one. If I wake, I'll be back. If I don't, well, you'll know. The silence will stretch longer than usual. This is Cade Bishop, Carson, Nevada. A man behind a mic, beneath a broken sky, beneath a louder silence. Still talking, still reaching, still us. It's 4 a.m. I didn't sleep. I tried. I curled up under the desk, wrapped myself in the same scratchy gray blanket I've had since the first power failure. I even shut my eyes for a while, but the hum kept going. That slow, low pulse beneath the concrete. It's not loud, but it doesn't stop. You don't hear it. You feel it. In the teeth. In the chest. Like it's inside the blood. And when I doze off, even for a second, I start dreaming with my eyes open. I saw the hallway again. Only this time, it didn't end. Just kept stretching. I stood up. Took 1 step forward in the dream. Then 2. Then I heard myself from behind whispering, "Don't go further. You won't come back real." I woke up in the chair. Might still live. If I said anything. If you heard me during that stretch. I don't remember it. Let me know. If my voice didn't sound like me, I need to know that too. I'm not being paranoid. I'm being careful. Because whatever the burst did, whatever came through that light, it's not just hitting the grid. It's eroding the soul. Quietly. Kindly. Like a wave pulling sand away grain by grain. We're not being attacked. We're being replaced. The power's holding. Barely. I hot-wired a golf cart battery into the backup relay. Had to strip the wires with a penknife and a lighter. My fingers are still twitching from the sparks. But it worked. I've got maybe 6 hours left before I need to venture out again. I'm thinking about heading toward the reservoir. There's a service shed there, used to store emergency spillway supplies. Last I checked, the door was padlocked, but most locks don't mean much anymore. I'll leave a mark, 3 horizontal lines scraped into the steel panel near the latch. If you see it, you'll know I was there. Leave something back. Anything. A name, a date, a memory. I don't care if it's just, I was here. That's worth more than food now. I heard from someone named Isaac, northern Michigan. Said he's built a signal triangulation setup using old radio dishes and a weather balloon. He says the burst didn't come from a known star, didn't come from a nova, didn't even come from this galaxy. He says he traced the source to a point in deep void. No stars, no matter. A coordinate that's been black on every map for the last century. He said, it's not a place, it's a subtraction. And then he laughed, software slow. The kind of laugh you make when you're sitting too close to something that breaks your understanding. I asked him what he meant. He said, it's where the map folds inward. That was the last I heard. That phrase hasn't left me. If you're hearing this, if you've seen maps shift, if landmarks are moving, if rooms stretch, log it. Don't dismiss it. It's happening to more of us now. Someone left a drawing at the church steps across the street. I found it pinned under a rock with a bent screwdriver. Charcoal on yellow paper. A hand. 5 fingers. But the palm was a spiral, not skin. And in the center, a single black dot. Beneath it, he touched my shoulder. Now I remember less. I brought it back. It's pinned to the ceiling above the console now, next to the old station logo. I don't know what I believe anymore, but I know symbols matter. They hold the weight of repetition. And repetition is what keeps us tethered. So let's do that. Let's repeat what's true until it holds. Your name matters. Your memory is yours. This world is still ours, even if it's bent. I've got more names to read. These ones came in through Morse bursts last night. Someone's still out there with a hand crank and a key tap, sending truth out 1 dot at a time. Respect. Daphne K. in Redding, California. Her message: my son is still sleeping. He hears music in the hum. He says it's piano. Victor A., Western Kansas. Tractors don't run, but the scarecrows are moving. Unknown origin, likely Southwest. She opened the mirror. The mirror didn't close. Hannah S., Baltimore suburbs. Everyone's gone. Houses are clean. Too clean. Like no one ever lived here, but I remember their names. Jackie and Ren, New Orleans. We're playing old records at full volume every night. If you're nearby, come dance with us. We don't care if you're real. That last one, it got me. Because maybe that's the point now. Maybe being real is just refusing to go silent. Maybe it's dancing in a dead city with the record needle skipping and the air tasting like smoke just to say, we were here. So here I am. One voice in the hiss, one steady signal, one rusted tower holding back the end. I'll be here again in an hour. If the wires hold. If my hands still know how to work a switch. Until then, breathe deep. Say your name. Touch your own face. Know that it's still yours. This is Cade Bishop, Carson, Nevada. Still human, still broadcasting, still remembering. It's 5:26 a.m. The dark's been holding longer than it should. I know that sounds like a strange thing to say. It's night, of course it's dark. But this isn't regular darkness. It's active, like it's pushing, filling in the cracks of places it doesn't belong, crawling into the seams of memory and peeling it loose like old wallpaper. It's been 3 hours since I saw anything outside. No wind, no insects, no twitch of curtain across the street. I think the street itself is changing now. Every time I look out the front window, the layout shifts. The sidewalk used to curve around the corner of the gas station. Now, it just stops, cuts off, as if the road got tired of continuing. I scratched a mark on the windowsill at 2:42 a.m., just a line with the knife blade. I scratched another one 5 minutes ago, right where the last one should be. They're a full inch apart. The desk hasn't moved, I haven't moved. The building hasn't moved, so either the mark moved, or something isn't obeying measurements anymore. Marcus always said when you mess with time and distance, you stop being in place and start being an event. Maybe that's what we're stuck in now. Not a world, but an unfolding, a memory rethreading itself in real time. I haven't heard a voice on the line in over 2 hours. That's the longest it's been since I started this broadcast cycle. Even the ambient pulses have gone quiet. No hum in the metal. No whisper in the wall. It feels like I'm underwater. Deep, beyond reach. I opened the tape recorder just to see if the reel had stopped. It hadn't. But the tape inside looked different. Lighter. Faded. Like it's been sun-bleached, even though it's been inside the console for weeks. I touched it. It was warm. And I swear it pulsed once under my fingertip. That's not possible. And yet, if you've seen changes like this, objects that remember what they shouldn't, or forget what they always did, please send word. Even if it's just a note through shortwave. Even if it's a single phrase. Because we're losing more than time out here. We're losing agreement. Reality only works if we all remember the same shape. And the shape is slipping. I marked another line on the wall near the backup rig. That makes 14. One for every broadcast cycle since the first silence. Some of the old marks are smearing. Not from heat. Not from water. Just fading. Like chalk that never touched the wall at all. But I remember them. I made them. And I will not let them vanish without a fight. Here are tonight's messages. What I managed to collect before the bands went quiet. Read them out loud. Let them echo off your walls. It's how we stay real. Arden and Trace. Eastern Idaho. We built a light cage. It keeps the cold glow out. If you want plans, tap twice at midnight. Theo J. Outside of Boise. Time's moving wrong. The hour feels like it's skipping backward. My dog doesn't notice, but I keep ending up where I started. Old Man Chuck, Baton Rouge. Static's been whispering. Says my daughter's still alive. Says I need to head west. I don't trust it. But I'm going anyway. Voice unknown. Sounds like mid-Appalachia. We're underground now. Not hiding. Just remembering. Rock doesn't forget. Neither do we. Juniper A. Las Vegas ruins. Our rooftop garden is thriving. Soil came alive after the flash. We don't ask why. We just eat. You're welcome here. That last one, Juniper, I'm writing that one down twice. Because it's proof of life. Because it's proof of choice. Because even if everything else breaks, if we can still choose kindness, still offer shelter, then we are not done yet. I'm going to try to rest, just for 20 minutes. The window won't stop humming, and the hallway keeps looking longer than it should. But I need to close my eyes. Not to escape, but to reclaim. Dreams used to be private. Now they feel like broadcasts, too. If you hear me say something strange while I'm asleep, if my voice bleeds into the signal and it doesn't sound like me, log it. Tell me. I want to know what's coming through. This is Cade Bishop. Still fighting. Still holding the mic. Even as the room tilts and the sky forgets how to end. If you're listening, hold something. A rock. A book. A memory. Anything. Just don't let go. The shape is only ours if we remember it. It's 6:52 a.m. I didn't dream. Not this time. I think whatever part of my brain used to make dreams got overwritten or shut off. I laid down on the floor with the headset still on, mic cracked open just enough to catch my breathing, and for a little while, there was nothing. No colors, no sound, no memory. Just this blank, room behind the eyes. And when I woke up, if you can even call it waking, I was already sitting up, hands on my knees, staring at the blank wall like I'd been talking to it for hours. I checked the tape. Nothing recorded, but the reel had moved. I think I spoke. I just didn't hear it. That's happening more often now. Little moments folding in on themselves, memory gaps, blackouts that feel smooth, like someone cut them with a razor and tucked the pieces neatly away. If you've experienced that, you're not alone. If your sense of before is fading faster than your sense of now, write everything down. Keep a daily log. Not digital, pen and paper. Date it, time it, tape it to the wall. Say it out loud if you have to. What's gone doesn't always come back. But what we remember, that's armor. The air this morning is still. Not calm, not quiet. Just still. The kind of stillness you feel after an explosion, when everything's holding its breath to see what's left standing. The figure by the tower hasn't returned. Or maybe it never left. I just can't see it anymore. I keep catching flickers on the edge of the glass. A tilt of shadow. A vertical smear against the wall of sky. I don't think it's watching me. I think it's waiting. I still have the red notebook. The one with my handwriting that I didn't write. I flipped ahead this morning. Most of the pages are blank. But one wasn't. Page 63. A single line in pencil. On day 19, you'll hear your name spoken by someone who isn't you. I dropped the book when I read it, because I'd just woken up, and when I opened my eyes, I heard my name, whispered, from the far corner of the room. No one was there, no microphone, no speaker, just the air. I haven't touched the notebook since, but I didn't burn it either. I think it's listening, and I think it wants me to know it's listening. I scanned the bands earlier. 12.3 megahertz, nothing. 7th of September, dead air. 4.2, brief flicker of Morse, translated to one word. Reversed. Then silence. I called out. Nothing came back. If you sent that, if that was you, I heard it. And I wrote it down. Because it might matter later. They all might. The whole world is a string of breadcrumbs now, and the only thing between us and the erasure is how many we can leave before the wind takes them. I have new names. 5 this time. Small voices. Honest ones. Let's carry them forward. Delaney H., Southern Illinois. Our barn collapsed last night. No wind. Just gave up. I found my brother sitting in the wreckage, smiling. Said it wasn't built for the new shape. Ravi M., Oakland. Our radio tower fell, but the signal got stronger. Not sure if that's good. Something answers now. Lena and Garrett, Amarillo. The sky plays music when we close our eyes. Different each night. Tonight it was violin. Last night, a train whistle slowed way down. The twins. No names given. Maybe Virginia. We write each other's dreams down before we forget. We're starting to dream the same things. Esme, age 7. Unknown location. She whispered into the mic. My teddy bear knows my name, but he never said it before the light. I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know what's real. But I know a child named Esme whispered her truth into the air, and I heard her. That's reality enough for me. I'll be heading out again in a few hours, once the light rises, if it rises. I'm aiming for the old reservoir, like I said. If If I don't make it back in 12 hours and this station goes quiet, assume I'm dead or lost in a loop. Either way, someone else will need to speak. Leave the signal running. Let it buzz. Let it scream. Let it breathe. Because silence isn't neutral anymore. Silence is the invitation. I'll be back if I can. If I can't, I'll leave a mark. Somewhere. This is Cade Bishop. Still Cade. Still holding. Still remembering my own name. It's 8:19 a.m. I made it back. If you're just tuning in. If the signal's finally cutting through wherever you are. I was gone for almost 2 hours. Left the station at first light, if you can even call it that. It was more like an oily glow pushing through fog, but I could see far enough to walk. Made it all the way to the reservoir and back without being followed. I think. The walk there was quiet. Too quiet. No crunch of gravel under my boots. No chirp. No creak. Just the soft hum of tension hanging in the air like wire stretched too tight. You ever walk somewhere you know should be familiar, but every step feels like you're trespassing in a memory that isn't yours? That's what it felt like. I reached the service shed. Still locked, just like I remembered. But the metal was warm, not sun warm. There was no sun. Just warm. Like it had been touched. Opened it anyway. Crowbar to the hinge. Snapped the rust loose. Inside was dust. A few scattered tools, old rain gear, one empty water barrel, and a manila folder. Untouched. Sitting in the exact center of the floor like someone had placed it there. My name was written on it. Block letters. Pencil. All caps. Cade Bishop. No return address. No fingerprints. I checked. I brought it back here. It's on the desk now. I haven't opened it. I don't know why. I want to. Every time I reach for it, my hand gets cold. Not scared, just numb. Like part of me knows whatever's inside doesn't belong here. But I'll read it. Not yet. But I will. Soon. If anyone out there has found something like this, personal, specific, impossible, write in. Call in. Even if it's just to say you saw it. I need to know I'm not the only one being tracked. Because that's what this feels like now. Not survival. Observation. The world's become a lab. And we're the last rats that remember we're in the maze. I saw something near the edge of the water before I left. A reflection. Not mine. I looked down and there it was, standing behind me. Taller than I am. No face. Just a dark shape with arms too long and shoulders that didn't move when it breathed. Except, I turned around, and nothing was there. But the reflection stayed. Even after I looked away, it only disappeared when I stepped back. That part I haven't figured out yet. I'm writing everything down. I've used 3 pencils in the last week. 1 notebook's full. The next one's half gone. Every detail goes in. Every pulse. Every shadow. Every name. Speaking of, new transmissions came through while I was gone. I set the recorder to scan and loop while I was out. Here's what we've got. Malik D., East Texas. The trees breathe now. At night you can hear it. Roots cracking, leaves rising and falling, like lungs made of wood. Giovanni and Elsie, somewhere in central Montana. We built a circle of mirrors, not for vanity, for defense. The things that move wrong won't cross it. Unknown signal, fragmented. The countdown didn't fail. We just forgot what it was for. Mara L., outskirts of Toronto. There's a man in my backyard every night. Same man, same coat, same smile. But the fence is locked. It's always been locked. Father Jeremiah, Gulf Coast. I am still ringing the bell every morning at sunrise. One chime for every name I remember. Today I rang it 13 times. If you recognize any of those names, repeat them. Speak them. Write them. Make a circle around them in charcoal and tape them to your wall. They matter. You matter. Even now. Especially now. I haven't opened the folder. But I did turn it over. There's something written on the back. Just one line. You'll need this before the 23rd cycle. I checked the tallies on the wall. Today is the 20th. 3 more. Whatever that means. I'm going to try recording an offline segment later. For the record, for whoever comes next. It won't be edited. Won't be polished. Just me, saying what happened. So someone, someday, can understand how the sky broke and what we did when the light turned cold. This is Cade Bishop, back in the booth, back from the edge. Still not blinking, still broadcasting, still us. It's 9:42 a.m. The sky's doing something new. Not brighter, not darker, just thinner. Like a veil stretched too far, like we were never supposed to look this deep. There's movement behind it. Not clouds, not birds. Bigger, slower, like shapes drifting in syrup far beyond the atmosphere. I counted 3 of them. They don't flicker. They don't make sound. But they're casting shadows, and there's no sun. I don't know what that means yet. I haven't opened the folder. Still on the desk. Still waiting. Every time I try, I get this nausea. Like vertigo, but inside the chest. I keep hearing that line over and over again in my head. You'll need this before the 23rd cycle. I don't know what the 23rd cycle is. But it's coming. I felt it this morning. My reflection's gone. It didn't fade. It didn't shift. It's just not there anymore. I went into the break room, stood in front of the old mirror above the sink, turned the flashlight on, and nothing. Just the counter. Just the wall behind me. Just space where I should be. I waved my hand. Nothing. I touched my face. Still there. Still me. But the mirror doesn't agree anymore. I left it alone. Covered it with a towel. If you're experiencing something similar, reflection distortion, glass behaving wrong, mark it down. You're not crazy. You're not alone. Something in this event is targeting memory, identity, recognition. We aren't dying fast. We're being forgotten slow. I got a shortwave packet from someone calling themselves the archivist. No name, no voice, just encoded bursts. I decoded them line by line. It said, "To remember is to resist. Forgetting is the first infection. Keep speaking. Keep logging. Build redundancies in memory. You are the spine now." No idea where it came from, but it felt deliberate. Personal. I don't know who the archivist is, but they know what's happening, and they've been watching the collapse longer than I have. If you're out there, and you're hearing this, I got your message, and I'm still logging, still speaking, still keeping the spine intact. I saw a fire this morning. Small one, maybe half a mile east, smoke rising clean, no noise, no ash in the wind. That's the first sign of life I've seen in days. Not a flare, not a reflection, just fire. Someone lit it on purpose. If you're near the Carson foothills and that fire was yours, thank you. Even if you didn't mean to be seen, you were. And sometimes that's enough. A lot of people ask me what it's like now, day to day. Here's the truth. It's quiet, not peaceful. Just quiet. Every sound feels like it matters. A door creak, a cough, the click of a lighter. The little things we used to drown out have become anchors. Each one says, "You're still here. This is still real." So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to describe the station, out loud, in detail. Every object, every corner, so it doesn't disappear, so it doesn't change when I blink. The desk is walnut veneer, chipped on the right edge, burn mark from a soldering iron. There's a coffee ring on the far left, one I never cleaned off. The microphone is matte black, old, patched with tape. The arm squeaks when I pull it close. There's a red push lamp near the edge. Doesn't work. Never did. The window behind me faces north. Glass is fogged, cracked in the corner. There's a post-it note on the frame with the words, "Don't forget to drink," in blocky green marker. My handwriting. The wall behind the mixer board is covered in paper. Maps, names, signal logs. They're starting to curl. The floor is concrete. Cold. One spot by my left boot has a rust-colored stain I can't scrub out. There's a wind-up clock nailed to the south wall. It's ticking. Even now. Even though I haven't wound it in a week. I don't know how. But it ticks. That's the station. Or what's left of it. And now that I've spoken it, it's real again. And if I forget, I'll come back here, to this tape, to these words. That's how we fight. We speak what we see, so it can't vanish. I have names. They came in last night. Voice fragments layered into a looping FM burst. Static smooth, slow rolling, like the wind learning how to whisper. These are the names it left me. Dorian, age unknown, western slope of the Rockies. There's a tunnel that's not on any map. When I walk through it, I come out 2 hours before I entered. It's how I've stayed ahead of it. Rena, near Lake Michigan. The birds came back, but they don't cast shadows anymore. Parker and Wren, Kansas Plains. We built a tower of glass bottles. It hums when the sky flickers. We sleep near it. We trust it. LEM, somewhere in the ruins of San Francisco. I climb the same building every morning. It resets. The graffiti changes. One message stays. You survived again. Jonah, Midwestern tunnels. I don't think I'm me anymore, but I still talk. So I guess that counts. I've added them to the ledger. They're real. They spoke. They pushed back. If you're out there and afraid, speak something. Even if it's just your name. Even if it's just a sound. Because silence is where this thing lives now. It swims in the hush. It feeds on it. We don't give it that. Not yet. Not while I'm still here. Not while this mic still works. This is Kate Bishop. Carson, Nevada. Tethered to a name, tethered to a desk, tethered to you. Still broadcasting. Still burning. It's 11:01 a.m. The folder is open. I waited as long as I could. I stared at it, paced around it, talked out loud like it was a stray dog I didn't trust. But in the end, I had to see. Inside, 6 pages, handwritten. No signature, no header, no date. But the handwriting matches mine. Exactly. I'm not exaggerating. Every curve, every crossed T, every messy loop in the lowercase g. It's like someone took my journal, stripped the words, and filled it with something else. Page 1 is a map, not a topographic one, just a sketched layout, circles, arrows, a tower in the center marked Station B, and something surrounding it called the Fold. No state names, no roads, just shapes. The edges of the map fade out like the paper gave up trying. Pages 2 through 5 are labeled, "If you forget." They're instructions. I'm reading them now out loud, because I need them to be real. Need you to hear them too. If you forget. Write your name on your skin before you sleep. Use marker, ink, blood. Doesn't matter. You'll know who you are faster when the voices try to wear your face. Do not stare at anything reflective for longer than 10 seconds. They learn that way. They echo you before they take you. Keep sound moving. Speak. Human. Tap your fingers. Anything to interrupt the stillness. Silence is a threshold. Burn pages you don't remember writing. If they come back, burn them again. If the hallway stretches, close your eyes. Walk backward. Do not turn around. When the light pulses, count backward from 30. If you forget what number you're on, you're not alone anymore. Trust only the names you say out loud twice. Once isn't enough. 3 is too many. Don't wait for rescue. You are the rescue. Page 6 was blank, except for one thing at the bottom. This isn't the first time you've read this. I dropped the folder. I didn't even mean to. My hand just let go. Because that line, it unlocked something. A flash. Not from the sky this time. From me. I remembered a hallway I don't recognize. I remembered a door with my voice behind it, crying into static. I remembered holding a mic and saying, "We'll try again." That's all. Then it was gone. But I wrote it down. That's what I do now. I write everything down. I added a line to the wall. 20-second broadcast. Which means next is 23. Which means, whatever this is, it's almost here. Or maybe it already came. And we're the echo. That's what the archivist wrote. You are the spine now. Maybe we've looped so many times we've worn a groove in the world deep enough for memory to stick. Maybe that's why the signal still works. I'll hold on to that thought. Because hope isn't about thinking things will get better. It's about making sure something remains. I've got more names. These came through in a burst signal at 10:17 a.m. AM band. Unmodulated. Just syllables repeated over carrier tone. Decoded as Milo in the ruins of Memphis. I found a shopping cart full of clocks. They're all ticking, all set to the same time. I didn't touch them. June 5th, Colorado Highlands. I made a room out of books. It's warmer in there. The ink protects me. Carmen and Zeke, outskirts of Tucson. Our water barrel sings if we tap it at dusk. We don't ask why anymore. Unknown voice, New Jersey. I think I'm becoming static. My skin buzzes when I breathe. Rory L., somewhere south. I wrote my dreams in chalk. The rain hasn't touched them. If any of these people hear this, I've spoken your names. You exist. You persist. You matter. And if you're listening right now, wondering if you're the last, wondering if any of this means anything. It does, because you're hearing me, which means the signal survived, which means we survived, for now. I'll check back in after midday, sun permitting, batteries holding, if the hallway doesn't stretch again. I'll sign off for now with this. This is Cade Bishop, Carson, Nevada. One voice in the fold, speaking out again and again, until the world listens or forgets me. But not yet. Not this time. It's 12:45 p.m. The shadows are moving wrong. I don't mean fast or slow. I mean they're not following anything anymore. There's no sun, no fixed light source. But I still see shapes stretch across the floor, like something passed in front of a flame that isn't there. They don't match me. They don't match anything in this room. I turned off every light, unplugged everything. Still, they move. If you're somewhere near the edge of the Great Basin and you've noticed anything similar, shadows without source, movement without direction, log it. Note the time, the position, the color. Are they still sharp-edged, or do they bleed at the edges? Mine bleed. They look like they're melting. I haven't touched the folder since this morning. It's still sitting here, wide open, its pages flat as if nothing in them should be secret. But they feel loud now, like I can hear the paper humming, like it's trying to speak through vibration. The 6th page keeps catching my eye. The last line. This isn't the first time you've read this. I keep thinking, what if I wrote it? What if every time this cycle loops, I leave something for myself? And what if the only way I make it through is by trusting me, even when I don't remember? I keep looking for cracks in my memory, fault lines, moments that feel rehearsed, and there's one that keeps echoing. The way I always say, this is Cade Bishop, Carson, Nevada. I say it like muscle memory, but I don't remember choosing to say it that way. What if I've said it 1,000 times? What if the reason I still say it now is because the voice before me always did? That scares me more than the shadows, more than the sky. Because if memory can echo without origin, how much of us is actually ours? How much of me is new? I tried making noise earlier, just to test something. I banged a metal pan against the counter. I whistled. I played the same segment of static on loop for 20 minutes. Nothing changed, except one thing. The hallway shortened. I walked it 4 times yesterday, 23 paces every time. After the noise, 18. I didn't move the walls. I measured twice. It's real. Something's listening. And it responds to rhythm. Maybe that's why the pulse exists. Maybe the hum under the floor is more than a symptom. Maybe it's the key. I'm going to try something at sunset. I'm going to loop the names, 1 per minute. Spoken clearly. Spoken with care. Just like I've been doing every day. But I'll loop them. Layer them with the pulse from the wall. With the reflection frequency I logged on day 9. I want to see what changes. If nothing does, fine. But if something does, I'll record it. Even if I don't understand it. Even if it's me speaking back. Now, names. These came in through a very faint signal around 12:03. Barely audible. I had to boost it using an old radio compressor I pulled from the archives. But they came through. Henrik S., near Duluth. I keep seeing my wife in my dreams. She's older than she ever was in life, and she doesn't recognize me. Clover, Colorado Springs. There's a shape under the lake. We don't swim anymore. We just watch it watching. Jasmine and Theo, Northwest Desert region. We drew a line in salt across the doorway. The figure stops there. For now. Unknown. AM, bleed over. The mirror's open to somewhere else. We only look when the wind stops. Raphael. Brooklyn ruins. Every night I lose a tooth. Every morning it's back. But my mouth is getting crowded. If you're out there, if you're any of them, I heard you. We all did. We're still tethered. Still bound by voice. Even if the world won't hold shape anymore. There's something else. Something I haven't said yet. Because I'm scared it'll break the spell. But here it is. I almost didn't make it back from the reservoir. I didn't lose direction. I didn't run into anyone. I just stopped. Right in the middle of the road. And I don't remember why. For a full hour, according to my watch, I didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't breathe. Not the way I do now. I just stood. And when I came back into myself, when the noise in my head switched on again, I was already walking back. I was halfway here. No memory of turning around. No sense of time passing. And my hands were wet. But there was no water nearby. No rain. Just wet skin and that rising panic in the chest like you woke up somewhere you shouldn't be. Whatever's out there, it's not just watching anymore. It's testing. So I'll test back. At sunset, I'll run the loop. I'll call it the mirror sequence. If you hear anything unusual, voices within voices, echoes of your own name when I haven't said it, log it. We're running out of time. But we're not out yet. This is Cade Bishop. Still here. Still resisting. Still carving sound into the dark like teeth into bark.